Right, let's get straight to it. The new Hero Xpulse 210 is a proper step up from the old 200. It's not just a few tweaks here and there. This is a whole new machine, really. If you like the idea of the 200 but felt it needed a bit more poke, a bit more composure, then this new 210 is the bike you've been waiting for. It takes everything that was good about the old one, its simplicity, its willingness to go anywhere, and builds on it with a better engine, a better frame, better suspension. It's just a more capable and sorted bike all around. It feels like it's grown up. The old Xpulse 200 was a brilliant little thing, no doubt about it. So the short version is this: the Xpulse 210 is a significant and worthwhile upgrade. It keeps the spirit of the original, but elevates the experience in every important way. You can tell the 210 is a different beast just by looking at it. The overall shape is familiar, it's still clearly an Xpulse, but everything has been sharpened up. The body panels are more angular and aggressive, giving it a more modern, purposeful stance. It looks less like a commuter bike with long travel suspension and more like a scaled-down rally bike. The new LED headlight with its distinctive H shape is a nice touch, and it throws out a much better beam of light than the old one, handy on unlit back roads after dark. The build quality feels a step up too. Hero has done a good job of balancing the dual sport and adventure bike aesthetics. It's still slim and light enough to look like a proper trail bike, something you wouldn't hesitate to thread through tight single track. But it also has a bit more presence now. The fuel tank is more sculpted, the radiator shrouds are more prominent, and the whole bike just looks a bit more substantial. The new tail section is tidier, and the luggage rack seems stronger and better integrated into the design. Even the exhaust has been redesigned. It's still a high-slung pipe to keep it out of harm's way, but it looks a bit more modern. These aren't massive changes on their own, but they all add up to a bike that looks and feels more expensive than it is. When you park it next to the old 200, the family resemblance is there, but the 210 just looks fitter, stronger, and more ready for a proper challenge. One of the biggest improvements is how the bike fits you. The ergonomics on the 210 are a massive leap forward, especially if you plan on doing any serious off-roading. The old bike was okay, but the new one is properly sorted for sitting. The new one is properly sorted for standing. The first thing you notice is the new handlebar setup. It's a bolt-on offset design, which is clever. You can rotate it forward or you can rotate it backward without needing to buy separate risers. This lets you fine-tune the reach to the bars, whether you have long arms or whether you have short arms, making a huge difference to comfort on a long day. Then you get to the foot pegs. They are now adjustable for height. Close-up shot of the Xpulse 210's adjustable foot pegs and offset handlebar clamp. You can set them in a lower position for a more relaxed, legs stretched out feel when you're cruising on the road, or you can move them to a higher position for better ground clearance and a more aggressive stance when you're riding off-road. It's a simple change, but it makes the bike so much more adaptable. The rear brake pedal height is also adjustable, so you can get it positioned just right for your boot, whether you're sitting or you're standing. The seat is another area that's seen a big improvement. The old seat was a bit soft and had a tendency to push you forward into the tank, which could get uncomfortable after a few hours. The new one is a single-piece unit that's flatter and firmer. It gives you more room to move your body weight around, which is essential when you're navigating tricky terrain. It's also much more supportive on long road sections, so you won't be shuffling about trying to find a comfortable spot. All these little adjustments add up to a cockpit that works brilliantly when you stand up on the pegs. On the old bike, standing could feel a bit awkward. The bars felt a bit low, and the tank shape wasn't ideal. On the 210, it feels completely natural. The new tank is narrower, where your knees grip it. The adjustable pegs put your feet in the right place, and the adjustable handlebar means you can get your upper body into a strong, balanced position without hunching over. It feels like a proper rally bike, giving you the confidence to tackle much tougher terrain. The engineering beneath the new bodywork, and the real magic has happened. The Xpulse 210 is built on a completely new frame. It's a steel trellis design. It's a lot stiffer and more sophisticated compared with the old single down tube frame. New chassis is the foundation for other improvements. You can feel the extra rigidity straight away. More planted and stable at high speeds. Holds its line much better through fast corners. No more slight vagueness when you push on. Suspension has had a serious upgrade to match the new frame. Up front, chunkier 41mm telescopic forks, old 37mm forks on the 200. Extra thickness resists flex under heavy braking or big bumps. That gives more precise steering, much greater feeling of control on rough ground. At the back, Hero ditched the old simple monoshock, replaced with a progressive linkage-type system. This is a massive deal. Linked monoshock gets progressively stiffer as it compresses, soft and compliant over small, chattery bumps. Firms up to resist bottoming out on big potholes, or when you land a jump. This gives the 210 suspension performance and balance the old bike couldn't match. Right, the engine. This is the bit everyone wants to know about. The Xpulse 210 gets the same basic engine that's in Hero's Charisma XMR sports bike. Modern, liquid-cooled, 210cc single-cylinder, 4-valve head. This is a huge leap from the old air-cooled 2-valve 200cc engine. The numbers tell the story. Power, torque, right across the rev range. This means better acceleration, a higher top speed, and, most importantly, more effortless cruising on the motorway. The bike no longer feels like it's straining at 60 miles per hour. But Hero didn't just drop the Charisma engine straight in. They've retuned it specifically for the Xpulse. They've made some tweaks to the camshafts to shift the power and torque lower down the rev range. This makes the engine more tractable and easier to manage at low speeds, which is exactly what you want for technical off-road riding. They've also fitted a massive 46-tooth rear sprocket. This gearing shortens the ratios, giving you fantastic punchy acceleration in the lower gears and making it much easier to crawl up steep, slippery hills without having to abuse the clutch. The addition of a sixth gear is another welcome change. The old bike's 5-speed gearbox was fine around town, but it left the engine feeling a bit busy at motorway speeds. The new 6-speed box, combined with the extra power, makes the 210 a much more capable long-distance machine. You can sit at a comfortable cruising speed without the engine screaming its head off, which makes for a much more relaxed journey. Now for the surprising bit. On paper, the new Xpulse 210 is about 10 kilograms heavier than the old 200 4V. Normally, adding weight to an off-road bike is a bad thing. You'd expect it to feel slower to turn and more of a handful in tight situations. But somehow the 210 feels lighter and more agile than the old bike. It's a strange sensation, but a welcome one. This is down to the new frame and better mass centralization. The bike feels incredibly well balanced and it changes direction with just a light touch on the bars or a shift of your body weight. This agility makes it a joy to ride on the road. This agility makes it a joy to ride off the road. In the city, it's brilliant for filtering through traffic. It's so slim and nimble that you can squeeze through gaps you wouldn't dream of attempting on a bigger bike. The bike is incredibly easy to place on the trail, and it doesn't fight you when you need to make a quick correction. It feels playful and encouraging, goading you into tackling more challenging lines. It never feels intimidating, which was always one of the best things about the Xpulse. So you've got your new Xpulse 210. Before you go charging off into the wilderness, there are a few things you should do to get it set up just right for you. First, play around with the ABS modes. The bike comes with switchable ABS, which is brilliant. For road riding, leave it in full dual-channel mode for maximum safety. When you head onto the dirt, switch it to rally mode. That turns off ABS on the rear wheel, allowing you to lock it up. It also lets you slide the back end to help steer tight corners. It's a proper bit of fun. Next, spend some time adjusting the ergonomics. Don't just leave everything as it came from the factory. Get your spanners out and experiment with the handlebar position. Loosen the 4 clamp bolts. Rotate the bars forward. Rotate the bars backward. Check the feel when you're sitting. Check the feel when you're standing. This simple adjustment can make a world of difference. If you're taller, you might find the bars low for standing. Consider fitting optional handlebar risers. They're a cheap and easy upgrade that transform the standing position. Then, have a look at the footpegs and brake pedal. Think about the type of riding you do most. For road use, pegs in the lower position give more legroom. For trail riding, pegs in the higher position give better ground clearance and stance. Once you've set the pegs, adjust the rear brake pedal height to match. You want to operate it without lifting your foot off the peg, especially when standing. Finally, take it easy for the first few 100 miles. Give the new engine a chance to bed in before you start revving to the red line. Use the time to get a feel for the bike. Learn how the suspension reacts on different surfaces. Get used to the extra power. Practice using the rear brake to steer on loose ground. The Xpulse 210 is a very forgiving bike. It pays to build your relationship with it gradually. Once you've got it dialed in, it will reward you with years of brilliant adventures. Now, it's not all sunshine and roses. There are a couple of things you need to be aware of before you rush out and put your money down. First off is the dealer network. Hero is selling the Xpulse 210 through a new network of premier dealerships. These are separate from regular showrooms and still quite limited in number. Check where your nearest premier dealer is. Here's the situation. You might have to travel a fair distance to find one, to buy the bike. You might have to travel a fair distance to get it serviced. This limited network could be a real pain if you have a problem far from home. Any Hero dealer will probably try to help, but specialized parts and knowledge for the 210 might only be at premier outlets. Hopefully, Hero will expand the network, but for now, it's a weak spot. Factor this into your decision. The other thing, a potential issue from initial press rides. At least one test bike reportedly went into limp mode from overheating while being ridden hard in hot conditions. Limp mode cuts power to protect the engine. This happened on a pre-production bike being thrashed by journalists, so it might not affect final customer bikes. It could have been a one-off fault, or Hero may have fixed it with a software update. Still, be aware, especially if you live in a very hot climate, or if you do a lot of slow, technical riding with little radiator airflow. The bike has a temperature warning light. Watch it. Probably not a major concern for most riders, but be informed. The move to liquid cooling is a big step forward. It also adds complexity and possible teething troubles. Keep an eye on owner forums to see if it becomes a common complaint. So, we come to the final question. Should you buy the Hero Xpulse 210? For most people in the market for a small capacity do-it-all bike, the answer is a resounding yes. It's a massive improvement over the 200 in every area that matters. More powerful and refined engine, more sophisticated and capable chassis, level of adjustability and composure that's genuinely surprising. Taken the original Xpulse formula and elevated it. A properly serious bit of kit. Existing Xpulse 200 owners feeling limitations. The 210 is the perfect upgrade, extra performance and capability, without sacrificing the lightweight, easy-to-ride nature you love. A natural, logical next step. Who is this bike for? New riders, a machine to grow with, won't feel underpowered after 6 months. Experienced riders, lightweight, fun, capable second bike for green laning and exploring, without the weight and expense of a big adventure bike. Commuters, handle the urban jungle during the week, escape to the countryside at the weekend. A fantastic all-rounder offering incredible value. It really can do it all. In conclusion, the Xpulse 210 is a triumph. Hero listened to feedback, identified weaknesses, systematically addressed them. A more mature, more capable, more exciting motorcycle. Still retains the fun-loving spirit of the original. Limited dealer network is a caveat. Otherwise, very little to fault. Sets a new benchmark for small capacity adventure bikes. If that's what you're after, take one for a test ride. You won't be disappointed.